So we're not curing autism. We're just taking kids that can use some more support and helping them get to the independent side. And I start with the parents being hopeful and knowing that it's possible. So now with the discipline and determination, and we're gonna define it differently, we can get those results. And then when it's all said and done, and these families are happy seeing the results with their children and themselves, then we could start defeating ableism, which is discrimination against people with special needs. We can do that daily. We can now start helping create new laws, including neurodiversity and new talks. We just had a presidential debate. It'd be nice if those things were brought up on those levels on what they're doing for the neurodiverse community more. Talk to our community leaders, our community boards, our churches.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. I'm super excited about today because my guest is Quentin. I don't think I'll ever be able to say that without stuttering, but we're just going to keep going. But no, this dude is awesome. He's just phenomenal. I love everything he does, so I can't wait for you guys to learn from him and hear about his story, his journey, and everything he does. So, Quentin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Like you said, my name is Quentin Mezetin, and I'm a happily married father of 5 children. My first 3 children are right now, 20, 19, and 16. And my last 2 children are right now 7 and 8. And my last 2 children were diagnosed with autism, which brings me here because that journey has come up with so many obstacles and new learning experiences that helped me now found the organization I Am Dad, which I share those experiences and those obstacles, but also how I've overcome them and continually learn and grow from them and help other families do the same.
That's amazing. And, the name I Am Dad is just so cool. This is awesome. I know the first time when we met, you talked about it and showed me your logo, and I just thought that is cool. That is awesome. So, Can you tell us about, what you've experienced with your children having autism and some of the challenges that you've had to overcome?
So, one of the first thing was denial. I didn't accept my kids had autism. So when I saw them not hitting milestones, the first thing I went to do was when people told me that, hey, your child might have autism, he might have ADHD, I was offended. I was actually mad. I'm like, yo, don't bring that to me. Like, you keep your limitations to yourself. And I was like, my son's just taking his time with speaking. He's just taking his time understanding this. And denial is what I see a lot of people go through. But when I went through it, it was actually me suffering in a different way. My child wasn't meeting my own expectations. And knowing I have 3 other children that hit these milestones and seeing my other 2 sons not meet these milestones, I was just like, maybe there's something else, but I did not want the label. I didn't understand the label. I didn't understand it to its effects of not being the worst of the worst. And I didn't want my kids to be labeled something that was just described as so bad as I was growing up.
Yep.
And that was my first thing. I had to overcome the denial and accept that this was the possibility that my children would be autistic, have autism. And once that happened, it was pros and cons, right? It's like I got the label, so maybe now I'll find the support and the tools and the solutions that I need to help my kids become independent. And it was just like, nope, you just got the label. I was like,
that's about it.
It's like, wait, there's no help on the other side. It's just like it's just another battle. So that was interesting, and then that's how I created this, because I'm a father, and once I was blessed to have children, it's my duty to do everything I can to help them at least reach adulthood and be independent. So now it's just like, okay, I got to help my sons. And if I can't find the help, I need to create the help to help them as much as possible become independent.
Yep, exactly. That's incredible. And like you say, the label is just a label. And sometimes I feel like a lot of people take the label and they like live their life because they're labeled as something. And for me, personally, I don't like that. Like, I think it limits everyone who has some sort of label. It's like, no, like for me, yes, I have cerebral palsy, but that's not who I am. I'm me. It's just a part of who I am, and I don't take it and be like, oh, the doctor said that I can't do this, and the doctors are always right, so I guess I just can't do that. It's like, no, I'm me, so let's figure out what I can do, not let this label control my life. That's how I look at it.
That's the best way to look at it. And it's a mindset, right?
It
So I
is.
feel like parents need that mindset to believe that their kids can still be these independent, incredible, identities, but incredible children that they always wanted. So I had to upgrade my brain, I would say, into this understanding that sure, my kids have this label according to some people, but that label's not going to limit them. They can still have goals and dreams and live these independent lives. And then that helped me on my journey look into other solutions, look into other support, other communities that also believe in that same aspect. And it helped me grow. And then I started my own community to help others grow just because we need this. Too many people are suffering in quiet desperation. And if parents are suffering, the kids suffer by default. And it's just not fair to the kids who could be more than the world has, possibly put them in a box to be.
Yep, exactly. And it is hard when you're a parent of a child with some sort of special need. I like to say special abilities because I know that we all have our own unique abilities. So, I just wanted to encourage our parents, hope for the best, have goals for the best outcome, and then help your kids to reach the best outcome that they can. No matter what it is that they're going through, just have that positive growth mindset, because then if you have the confidence in your children will have confidence in themselves and just automatically do more. That's kind of how I look at it, because that's how I live my life.
Beautiful. Listen, that's what every parent wants. I haven't met a parent today that wanted a child with special needs.
No.
And it's it's nothing parents wish on others. So it's just you've already been met with a big obstacle when you get the diagnosis of any special needs, of any special ability, of any kind, that life's reality has not met your expectations. So you have to overcome that mindset, which is usually leading into depression and suffering, and really just be like, okay, this is what happened, or this is what is, and now how am I going to make the best of it? So then that's the earlier parents could get to that mindset, the better for themselves, their families, and their children, and their communities. Because you're able to get access to resources and tools and solutions because you're looking. I think I don't want to say nothing about the regular parents, because I was that parent first with my children, my first three, but something happened to me where I had to become such a more involved parent as a parent of children with special needs. When you realize that the world was not speaking up in so many ways, the schools, the societies, the communities, I had to now build a stronger backbone in ways I didn't have to for my first three children, because I had to stand up in ways that my kids couldn't stand up for themselves, and I had to do it for other kids that couldn't stand up for themselves, because now I see the world differently just because of parenting with special needs. Like it's a whole different ball game, but it makes the world a better place because now I see things for all my kids. My empathy, my compassion, my setting of goals is different for all kids of all the things that I've learned because of my last two children. So it's enhanced myself, my wife, my family, just because of Quintus and Quinn. I like saying their names.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk more about what I Am Dad. Can you tell us exactly what it is and what you do?
I Am Dad has went through a lot of versions. The dad was the acronym for, I like to talk about the stories, right? So I Am Dad was don't accept the diagnosis.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just like, because it came with limitations. But then as I grew, accept the diagnosis. I had to go back and, reframe, accept the diagnosis because, hey, diagnosis is not a problem. It's understanding how to do best with it. So now it became disciplined and determined. Because now you got to discipline yourself and be determined to not only to find the results, the alternative solutions that your child needs through different strategies, but it's going to be consistent. There's certain things that might take you 6 months to see a result, but that's where the discipline and determination is going to take its effect. And then it went into, it's interesting we're having this conversation because a lot of things are changing and enhancing the more I learn and grow.
Yep.
Defining autism differently. Right here is defeating autism daily, where I was defeating autism as the limitations, discrimination, and low expectations. But autism isn't that. Autism is not even though the definition was bringing out the lifelong cognitive delays and disabilities, autism is not that. And when I realized that, I'm not defeating autism. I'm not curing autism. What I'm doing with part of I Am Dad is defining autism differently. Still with my acronym.
There you go.
Defining it differently where it's this success story. Whereas now we all get to be creators of this awesome movie of, triumph. So now I Am Dad is helping families get to the brighter side of the spectrum. Because now with all the solutions and tools out there, there's too many things that we can do to help kids communicate. So when kids come and they're nonverbal, there's a lot of opportunities for us to get those kids their voice back so they can have a voice in this world. When kids are needing more support on the severe side, my goal through I Am Dad, to my affiliations, to support community, is to help those families get those kids into the other side of the spectrum. So we're not curing autism. We're just taking kids that can use some more support and helping them get to the independent side. And I start with the parents being hopeful and knowing that it's possible. So now with the discipline and determination, and we're gonna define it differently, we can get those results. And then when it's all said and done, and these families are happy seeing the results with their children and themselves, then we could start defeating ableism, which is discrimination against people with special needs. We can do that daily. We can now start helping create new laws, including neurodiversity and new talks. We just had a presidential debate. It'd be nice if those things were brought up on those levels on what they're doing for the neurodiverse community more. Talk to our community leaders, our community boards, our churches. What are they implementing to make sure that this world is more inclusive? That's helping defeat ableism. Daily. But what I do at I Am Dad is, as a dad, I've worked on partnering with all these solutions and therapists, naturopathic, alternative solutions, along with doctors, neurologists, geneticists, and we've come together to just see where families are at and help them on their journey, to help them help their children get to the brighter side, the more independent side, the happier side of the spectrum. Because the kids, they can do it. I found that getting through to the parents is the best way to help get through to the kids. And that's what I Am Dad is.
I absolutely love it. And it does. It all starts with the parent. because it's, kind of like school. Like, the kids learn things at school, but then they go home, the parent doesn't know, so then, those things don't get implemented, and then eventually the kids just kind of forget. Like, you see that a lot. It's like, if the parents are on the same page as the children, it goes a lot better, and the parents can really help their children. So I love what you're doing. And are you working with like families like individually or as like group settings, or how does it work?
Group settings, group settings. So I
Okay.
do, like, as I've been growing, I've been talking to families, just like friends will call me, hey, could you talk to my cousin, my sister, my
Mm-hmm.
brother? So it's just been like, hey, here's information. But as it started to grow, I started to realize I need to put things more in a community base where I could
Yep.
just help more in general, increasing
Mm-hmm.
like my podcast,
Mm-hmm.
bringing more value in different ways where I can help more. Because the goal is for I'm Dad to be a household name. The goal is
Yeah.
that families can come together and know that I'm Dad is a solution that helps families that are,
Mm-hmm.
raising children with special needs, at least provide hope and
Yep.
possibilities that they can help their kids become more independent. But group settings, I would say, are the best. But of course, there's
Mm-hmm.
always time for one-on-one that those
Yep.
could be selected. I do set up a free consultation where I could at
Mm-hmm.
least get a questionnaire to see where people are at, to at least point them in the right direction. And
Yep.
then it's like join the group, because autism is a label that they put in a spectrum, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone's journey is different. There's no
Exactly.
one size
Yep.
fits all.
No.
so even like
No.
with cerebral palsy,
Mm-hmm.
there's no one size fits all. So it's just
No.
like everyone is their own identity. So it's
Yep.
just like why would I wouldn't want to put everybody like, oh, you have this label, so you're this. No.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk, let's see where you are with what you've been told, and let's see how we could get you to where you want to go, and maybe faster and more efficient.
Exactly. I love it. And yeah, it's so good that you're doing it as a group, like a community, because then not only are you helping everyone, but they can actually help each other because they can talk and ask each other questions, and it's just like a big whole thing that where everybody's helping each other. And that's a lot of times more impactful than anything because they all have different experiences, and you don't know it all, so they can just reach out to other people and see like, hey, have you dealt with this before? What worked for you in this circumstance? So yeah, I think that's very, very powerful.
Thank you, thank you. And you're right about that, right? When you go to doctors, I saw a study that parents are 3 times more likely to just believe other parents than the
Mm-hmm.
doctors. It's
Yep.
like other parents you can relate to more, they understand you
Yep.
more, and we're always learning from each other. So that's so true.
Yep. So yeah, let's do everything we can to make I Am Dad a household name and really help a lot of families. I think it's incredible.
Thank you. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And I'm just a dad doing what I can to help my kids, get
Yep.
their chance at independence. And if I
Yep.
can do that for millions of others, so be it.
Exactly. That's incredible. So my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
My abilities are infinite, meaning no matter how far I've come, I can always go more. Never
Mm,
settle. I
I
get
love
that
it.
as never settle. Keep going
Hmm.
until.
I love it. Amazing. So, where can people reach out to you? How can they find you? How can they work with you?
My website is www.imdads with an S.com. And
Okay.
I'm also on social media as imd.a.d. And yeah, those are the best ways to get in touch with me. And from the website, you can set up consultation, and we could get to know each other even more. And then you could see one of the communities that you want to join. I have a community for parents, and I also have a I'm Still Dad, which is another community that I made specifically for the fathers, because our journeys is very similar, and sometimes we feel unheard and misunderstood. So I set up a community for the fathers that we can actually have other men conversations together on how we could be better fathers, providers, and warriors as well. So definitely start out at my website and social media and check me out. Like, follow, subscribe, and share.
There you go. Awesome. Well, this was really great. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that we'll be doing another one of these in the future.
I look forward to it, Nick. You're awesome.
Awesome, man. Thank you. So are you. So are you. Thank you.
No problem.
If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in it, the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember, your abilities are infinite.